The wild horse moved like a shadow across the wide plain near the small village. Its coat was dark brown, almost black when the clouds covered the sun. Its mane lifted in the wind, and its hooves made soft thuds on dry ground. People in the village called it the storm horse, because it often appeared before rain, standing on a hill like it owned the sky. Most villagers stayed far from it. Some felt fear. Some felt anger. A few felt respect, but they still kept their distance. The horse had lived there for years, drinking from the stream and eating wild grass. It was not anyone's property, and that was the reason many people could not accept it. On the edge of the village stood a broken shelter made of old wood and rusted sheets of metal. It leaned slightly, as if tired of standing. Most people walked past it and never looked inside. They believed no one lived there. They believed it was empty and useless. But it was not empty. A young girl named Anna lived there quietly. She was small for her age and wore the same faded clothes every day, patched in many places. Her hair was tied back with a strip of cloth. Her hands were rough from work, and her knees often had dust on them. Yet her eyes were sharp, and her mind worked fast. Anna did not talk much, not because she could not, but because she had learned that words did not always bring kindness. She had once tried to ask for help, long ago, when she first arrived near the village. Some people had turned away. Some people had looked at her with tired faces. One person had handed her bread once, then never again. After that, Anna stopped asking. She survived on small things. She collected water from a narrow stream that ran behind the trees. She gathered fallen fruit when it was season. She found wild roots, and sometimes she caught small fish using her hands and patience. When the weather became cold, she covered herself with old sacks and dried leaves. It was not a good life, but it was a life she held onto with stubborn strength. Every morning, Anna watched the wild horse. She never tried to get close at first. She only observed from a safe distance, hiding behind tall grass or the trunk of a tree. She studied the way the horse lifted its head at every sound. She watched the way it tested the wind, smelling the air as if it could read secrets. Anna understood that the horse trusted nothing, and she respected that. In a strange way, the horse felt like a mirror to her life. It lived without anyone to protect it. It did not belong. It relied on itself. It stayed alert because danger could come from anywhere. Anna felt that truth inside her bones. One evening, when the sun was low and orange, Anna saw the horse near the stream. It stood alone, drinking slowly. Its ears moved like small signals, ready for any noise. Anna was behind a bush, holding her breath, careful not to snap a twig. Then she heard voices. Men were walking along the path near the field. Their boots pushed down dry weeds. Their talk was loud, like they wanted the whole world to hear them. Anna leaned closer to the bush and listened. "That animal has to go," said one man. His voice was hard, as if he enjoyed saying it. "It trampled my brother's crops last month," another replied. "We warned everyone, but no one did anything." A third man laughed, not kindly. "The village head is tired of complaints. He said we should finish it before winter." Anna's stomach tightened. She did not like the way they spoke. She did not like the pride in their tone. One man lowered his voice a little, but not enough. "We will bring ropes and traps. If it does not work, we will do what must be done." Anna's hands started to shake. She did not know every word they meant, but she understood the purpose. They planned to end the horse's freedom forever. That thought made her chest feel heavy. The horse lifted its head suddenly, as if it had heard danger through the ground. It stared toward the men's voices. Its body became still. Then, in one quick movement, it turned and ran, disappearing behind the hill. The men kept walking, still talking, not knowing they had been noticed. Anna stayed hidden until their voices faded away. When she finally stood up, her legs felt weak. She looked toward the hill where the horse had vanished. Her eyes burned, not from tears, but from something stronger, like a fire that refused to go out. Anna returned to her shelter that night, but she could not rest. She lay on the hard floor, staring at the dark ceiling. The wind shook the loose metal sheets, making soft clanging sounds. Each sound reminded her of the men's words. She thought about the horse running free. She thought about how it had never hurt her. She thought about how it simply tried to survive like any living thing. In her mind, she kept seeing it standing on the hill like a proud symbol, untouched by human control. She also thought about herself. No one had protected her when she needed it. No one had stood up and said, "Leave her alone." She had learned to be invisible. She had learned to move quietly, to take little, to ask for nothing. She had learned that the world could ignore you until you disappeared. Anna sat up and hugged her knees. Her breath looked like a faint mist in the cold air. "If they can decide the horse should disappear," she whispered, "they can decide that about anyone." That thought made her heart pound. She did not want to live in a world where the strong could remove the weak without anyone caring. She had seen that kind of cruelty, not always in actions, but in silence. As the night grew deeper, Anna made a decision. She did not have money. She did not have family. She did not have power. But she had courage, and she had the ability to act when others stayed still. She had survived too much to be afraid of a few men with loud voices. The next morning, Anna woke before sunrise. The air was cold and gray, and the grass was wet with dew. She stepped outside, washed her face with a little water, and tied her hair back tightly. Her body was tired, but her mind was clear. She looked toward the field. The village was still asleep. Smoke did not yet rise from chimneys. The roads were quiet. Birds moved in the trees, and the sky slowly changed from dark to soft blue. Anna walked carefully along the edge of the field, staying near bushes and rocks. She was not going to chase the horse. She knew that would make it panic. Instead, she planned to do something smarter. She wanted to warn the horse. Of course, the horse could not understand words the way humans did. But Anna believed animals understood more than people gave them credit for. They understood tone, movement, intention. They understood danger. Anna reached the hill where she often saw the horse. From there, she could view the wide plain and the stream below. She scanned the area, looking for any sign of the dark coat and flowing mane. For a moment, she saw nothing. Then, far away, the horse appeared near a cluster of trees. It stood still, watching the land as if it felt the same tension Anna felt. The horse's head turned slightly, and its eyes seemed to meet hers across the distance. Anna raised her hand slowly, not to wave, but to show she was there. She took a careful step forward, then another, keeping her movements calm. Her heart beat fast. She knew one wrong move could send the horse running. But she kept going, because she believed the risk was worth it. She needed the horse to understand one thing. Danger was coming, and she was going to fight it the only way she could. And this was only the beginning. Anna stood on the hill with the cold wind pressing against her face. The wild horse stayed near the trees, watching her without moving. Its body was strong and ready to run at any moment. Anna knew she had to be careful. If she rushed, the horse would disappear into the open land and she might not see it again for days. She took one slow step forward, then stopped. She kept her hands low and open, showing she carried nothing. Her heart beat fast, but she forced her breathing to stay calm. She had seen how the horse reacted to sudden movement. She respected its fear because her own life had taught her the same lesson. The horse lifted its head higher and turned one ear toward her. It did not run. That small choice felt like a door opening just a little. Anna looked down at the grass near her feet and picked up a small apple that had fallen from a nearby tree. It was not perfect. It had a soft spot on one side. She held it out with both hands and waited. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the horse took one step, slow and silent, like it was testing the ground itself. Anna did not move. She did not smile too wide. She did not speak loud. She only said one word in a soft voice. Safe. The horse stopped again. Its eyes were dark and sharp. It breathed out slowly, and Anna saw the puff of warm air in the cold morning. She could not tell if it understood her, but she felt it was listening, not just hearing. Anna placed the apple on a flat stone and stepped back. She did not want the horse to think she was trying to trap it. She waited with patience, the kind she used when catching fish in the stream. The horse moved closer, careful and proud. It lowered its head and sniffed the apple, then picked it up with its lips and ate it. It did not look away from Anna even while chewing. Anna felt a small warmth in her chest. This was not friendship yet, but it was trust beginning, and trust was powerful. She glanced toward the village road in the distance. It was still quiet, but she knew the men would return. Their voices from yesterday repeated in her mind like a warning bell. She needed a plan, not just hope. Anna could not fight grown men. She had no strong tools, no safe home, no adults who would defend her. But she had one advantage. She noticed things others ignored, and she could move through places unseen. She decided to find out when the men would come and where they would set their traps. Anna left the hill slowly, making sure the horse did not feel chased. She walked back toward the trees and took a hidden path that led closer to the village. As she moved, she kept looking over her shoulder. The horse stayed on the plain, watching her until the trees blocked the view. When Anna reached the village edge, the day had fully started. Smoke rose from a few houses. People walked to work. A woman carried water on her head. A boy chased a stray chicken. Life looked normal, as if danger was not planning to arrive. Anna pulled her old scarf higher around her face and kept to the sides of the road. She did not want to be noticed. In the village, people did not look for her, but when they did, their eyes often carried questions she did not want to answer. Near the small market area, she heard familiar voices. She stopped behind a cart and listened. It was the same group of men. There were 4 of them today. One had a thick beard. One had a red cap. Another was tall and thin, always tapping his foot like he had too much energy. They were speaking with a man who looked important, wearing clean clothes and holding a small book. This man did not shout. He spoke calmly, and that was what scared Anna. Calm voices often meant decisions had already been made. "We cannot have fear near the village," the important man said. "People complain every week. Children do not walk freely." The tall thin man nodded quickly. "We will handle it. We will set ropes near the stream where it drinks." The man with the red cap smiled. "It always returns there. It thinks that place belongs to it." The important man closed his book. "Do it before sunset. No noise. No drama." Anna's hands clenched behind the cart. She hated the way they spoke about the horse like it was an object. She also noticed something else. They did not just want to chase it away. They wanted to control it, to end the problem in a final way. Anna waited until they walked away, then followed at a distance. She moved from corner to corner, staying hidden behind walls and trees. The men headed toward the field road, carrying coil ropes and a heavy sack. Anna followed them all the way to the stream area, staying low behind bushes. From there, she watched as they began setting their plan. They tied rope between 2 trees near a narrow pass where the land dipped. One man dug a small hole and placed something inside, then covered it with leaves. Another man laid rope in a wide circle, hiding it under grass. Their movements were practiced, like they had done this before with other animals. Anna's stomach turned. She knew that if the horse stepped in the wrong spot, it could get trapped. Panic could make it worse. It might run in fear and hurt itself. The men stepped back and looked at their work. The tall thin man nodded with satisfaction. "It will come by evening." They left the area and walked back toward the village, laughing softly. Anna stayed hidden until they were gone. Then she crawled out slowly and studied the ground. She did not touch anything at first. She looked for patterns, for lines in the grass, for leaves placed in a way that did not match nature. She found the rope circle. It was carefully hidden, but not perfect. Anna's eyes were used to searching for small clues. She carefully lifted the grass and saw the rope clearly. She knew she could not remove everything. If she did, the men would know someone had interfered. Then they would make a new plan, maybe in a worse place. She needed to protect the horse without making the men suspicious. Anna came up with a risky idea. She would create a different path for the horse. She would guide it away from the stream without chasing it. She would make the stream area feel unsafe to the horse so it would choose another place to drink today. She picked up small stones and quietly tossed them into the bushes near the stream, not enough to make loud noise, but enough to make rustling sounds. She moved around, creating gentle disturbances in different spots. Then she placed her own scent near the trap area by rubbing her scarf on a tree. She hoped the horse would smell a change and stay alert. But she knew smell and sound might not be enough. She needed a stronger signal. Anna ran back toward her shelter and searched through her few belongings. She found a small metal cup and a piece of rope she used for carrying bundles. She also found an old tin lid that made a sharp sound when struck. An idea formed quickly. Before evening, Anna returned to the hill. The sun was lower now, and the air had a gold color. She saw the horse again, walking slowly toward the stream direction, following its normal habit. Anna's heart jumped. This was the moment. If she failed, the horse would walk right into the hidden danger. She stepped out from behind a tree and stood where the horse could see her. She held the tin lid and the metal cup. She did not want to scare the horse into wild panic, but she needed it to stop and change course. The horse paused and stared at her. Anna lifted her hand and pointed away from the stream, toward a safer open area where a small pond sometimes formed after rain. It was farther, but it had water. She spoke softly again. This way. The horse did not move. Anna swallowed. Her palms were sweaty. She tapped the cup lightly with the lid. A sharp, clear sound rang out across the field. The horse flinched and stepped back. Anna froze. She feared she had done too much. Then the horse lifted its head and looked past her, toward the stream area, as if it heard something there too. Maybe it was the wind. Maybe it was the rustle Anna had created. Maybe it smelled the change. The horse took one step, then another, but not toward the stream. It began to angle away, slowly turning its body to the side. Anna's chest tightened with hope. But at that exact moment, from far down the road, Anna saw movement. The men were coming back earlier than she expected. And they were not alone. They brought someone with them, someone holding a lantern and walking with purpose. Anna realized the danger was closer than ever, and she had only seconds to decide what to do next. Anna's breath caught in her chest when she saw the men returning. The light from the lantern moved like a slow eye across the ground. The sky was turning orange and purple, and shadows stretched long over the field. Evening was coming fast, and with it, danger. The wild horse stood still, its body tense. It sensed the change in the air. Its ears turned sharply toward the road, then back to Anna. It did not trust easily, but it was alert enough to know something was wrong. Anna knew she could not let the men see her near the horse. If they did, they might blame her, or worse, they might use her presence to scare the horse straight into the trap. She had to act quickly and wisely. She stepped back behind the tree and crouched low. Her heart was beating so hard she feared the horse could hear it. She watched through the leaves as the men walked closer to the stream area. Their voices carried clearly now. "Light it from this side," one man said. "The rope is still hidden," another replied. The lantern lifted higher, spreading yellow light over the grass. The rope trap lay only a short distance away. If the horse moved the wrong way, it would step into danger within moments. Anna felt fear, but she also felt anger. The kind of anger that gave strength instead of weakness. She picked up a stone and held it tightly. Then she threw it far to the left, toward a patch of bushes away from both the horse and the trap. The stone hit dry branches and made a loud crack. The men stopped walking. "What was that?" the tall thin man asked. Probably another animal, the bearded man said. The horse maybe. The lantern swung toward the sound. The light moved away from the trap area for a moment. Anna did not wait. She picked up another stone and threw it farther, making sure it landed deeper in the bushes. This time, birds flew up with sudden noise. That is not the horse, the man with the red cap said. Something else is there. The men turned and walked toward the bushes, following the noise and light. Anna turned back toward the horse. It was still standing in place, unsure, watching everything with sharp eyes. Anna stepped out slowly, keeping her body low and calm. She raised both hands and moved them gently to the side, guiding, not pushing. Her face showed no fear, even though her legs felt weak. The horse shifted its weight. It trusted its own instincts more than anyone, but Anna had become part of its awareness now. It remembered the apple. It remembered her quiet presence. It remembered that she had not tried to trap or chase it. The horse took a careful step away from the stream. Anna nodded slightly, encouraging it without excitement. She moved backward, creating space, letting the horse choose. Behind her, the men were still focused on the bushes. One of them laughed nervously. "Just a wild animal," he said. "We are wasting time." The horse took another step, then another. Its body slowly turned, facing the open land and the distant pond area Anna had pointed to earlier. Anna felt a rush of relief, but she did not let it show. Sudden emotion could break the fragile trust. The horse began to walk, then picked up speed, not running in panic, but moving with purpose. It passed Anna at a distance, close enough that she could hear its breath and feel the ground move under its steps. For a brief moment, the horse turned its head and looked at her. Anna stood still. Then the horse ran, strong and free, heading away from the trap and toward safety. Anna wanted to smile. She wanted to cry. But she stayed quiet. The sound of the men's voices returned suddenly. "Hey!" one shouted. "There it goes." The lantern light swung back toward the stream area. One man cursed loudly when he saw the untouched trap. "It changed direction," the tall thin man said. "It never does that." The important man stepped forward, his calm face tight now. "Someone disturbed the area," he said slowly. "Look at the ground." They noticed the moved grass, the disturbed leaves, the broken branches. Their eyes scanned the field. Anna was still hidden behind the tree, holding her breath. The man with the red cap squinted. "A child maybe," he said. "Or a thief." "No," the important man replied. "Someone smart." They looked around, but the shadows were deep, and Anna knew the land better than they did. When the men spread out to search, Anna slipped away quietly, moving low and fast through paths she had walked many times. She did not stop until she reached her shelter. Inside, her chest burned from running. She leaned against the wall and slid down to the ground. Her hands shook now that the danger had passed. The silence felt loud. She had saved the horse for today. But she knew it was not over. The men would not forget. They would not give up so easily. They would talk. They would plan again. And next time, they might be more careful, more cruel. Anna stared at the floor and thought deeply. Running away was an option. She could leave the area and disappear. She had done that before in her life. But the horse could not disappear so easily. It belonged to this land. It depended on familiar paths and water. If Anna left, the horse would face the danger alone. She stood up slowly. That night, Anna did not sleep much. She listened to every sound. The wind, the distant voices, the movement of animals. She planned in her mind, step by step. By morning, she had a new idea. If the men believed the horse was dangerous, then Anna needed to show them the truth. Not with words, because they did not listen to words from a girl like her. She needed proof that could not be ignored. The next day, Anna followed the horse from a distance. She watched where it walked, where it drank, how it avoided the village. She noticed that it never went near crops unless chased. She noticed that it stayed away from people unless cornered. She also noticed something important. Near the far side of the plain, beyond the usual paths, there was an old broken fence. Behind it lay unused land that belonged to no one now. Grass grew tall there, and water collected naturally after rain. It was the perfect place for the horse. If she could guide the horse there, and if she could make the villagers see it living peacefully away from them, the story could change. But guiding a wild horse long-term was not easy. It would take time. It would take trust. It would take a bold action that no one expected from an abandoned girl. As Anna watched the horse stand proudly under the morning sun, she knew one thing clearly. She was no longer invisible. And she was not afraid to be seen anymore. The morning sun rose gently over the plain, spreading light across the grass and hills. Anna stood near the edge of the trees and watched the wild horse from far away. It moved calmly, no longer rushed by fear. The land felt quiet again, but Anna knew the calm would not last. She remembered the unused land beyond the broken fence. That place could keep the horse safe if it learned to stay there. The problem was guiding a wild animal without force. Anna understood that pushing would break trust. She needed patience and small steps. Anna began her work that same day. She collected apples, roots, and fresh grass from areas far from the village. She placed small piles closer to the broken fence, never too close at first. Each pile was placed along a gentle path, like silent signs leading the way. She worked slowly and carefully, making sure the horse did not feel chased. The horse noticed. At first, it only watched from a distance. Then one day, it followed the path far enough to eat from the first pile. Anna stayed hidden, holding her breath, letting the horse believe the choice was its own. Day after day, the horse followed the food trail a little farther. Anna also changed her own routine. She stopped visiting the stream near the village. Instead, she walked toward the unused land often, leaving soft signs of safety behind. She rubbed tree bark with her hands and scarf so the horse would recognize her scent there. She wanted the place to feel familiar. Meanwhile, the village did not stay silent. People talked. Some said the horse was acting strangely. Others said it had become smarter. A few believed someone was protecting it. The men who had planned the trap were angry. Their pride had been hurt. The tall thin man stood near the market one day and spoke loudly. That animal escaped because someone interfered. We must finish this properly. Anna stood nearby, carrying water, listening without being seen. She felt fear, but she did not turn away. The important man raised his hand. We must be careful. If the horse stays away from the village, there is no problem. The bearded man shook his head. For now. Those words stayed with Anna. That evening, Anna made a bold decision. She would let herself be seen. The next day, Anna walked openly toward the broken fence area while the horse was nearby. She did not hide. She did not rush. She walked calmly, holding an apple in her hand. The horse watched her closely. Anna stopped at a safe distance and placed the apple on the ground. Then she stepped back and sat down. She did not look directly at the horse. She looked at the sky instead, giving it space. After a long moment, the horse approached. It moved carefully, but without fear. It ate the apple and stayed. People from the village noticed. A boy pointed. Look. The girl from the shelter. A woman whispered. She is not afraid. Soon, more eyes turned toward the field. Anna stayed seated, calm and quiet. The horse stood near her, not touching, but not running. The distance between them was filled with trust built slowly over many days. The important man arrived later with 2 others. He stopped when he saw the scene. The horse stood peacefully. The girl sat still. No danger. No chaos. What is this? He asked. Anna stood up slowly. She faced him without lowering her head. Her voice was steady. It is not hurting anyone, she said. It stays away when left alone. The man studied her. You live alone, he said. Why do you care so much? Anna answered honestly. Because no one cared when I needed safety. The field fell quiet. The man looked at the horse again. He noticed how it kept distance from the village, how it remained calm. This land beyond the fence, Anna continued, pointing. It is empty. The horse can live there. Away from crops. Away from fear. Some villagers murmured. Others nodded slowly. The bearded man crossed his arms. And who will make sure it stays there? Anna met his eyes. I will. Silence followed. The important man thought for a long moment. Then he spoke. If the horse causes no trouble, there will be no need for harm. The tall thin man looked unhappy, but he did not argue. From that day, things began to change. Anna spent her days guiding the horse farther toward the unused land. She helped shape new habits. She watched from a distance and stayed patient. The horse learned the paths, the water spots, the shelter of tall grass. Villagers watched too. Children stopped fearing the horse. Some even smiled when they saw it far away. The anger softened into curiosity. Anna was no longer invisible. People began to greet her. A woman offered bread one morning. A man repaired part of the broken fence to keep the land safe. The horse stood one evening near the fence, looking over the wide open space. It lifted its head and breathed deeply, as if claiming its new home. Anna watched from afar, her heart steady. She knew the fight was not fully over. Trust needed care, like a small flame in wind. But something strong had been built. A bond. A promise. And the village would never see the abandoned girl the same way again. The final test was still ahead. The days passed quietly, but Anna stayed alert. She knew peace could break easily if ignored. Every morning she walked the path toward the unused land beyond the broken fence. The wild horse was there now most of the time. It had learned where grass grew thick and where water stayed clear. It no longer went near the village road. Anna watched from a distance, letting the horse live freely. She did not touch it. She did not command it. She only guided when needed. Trust stayed strong because she never forced it. One afternoon, dark clouds gathered suddenly. Wind rushed across the plain, bending grass low. A heavy storm was coming fast. Anna knew the land beyond the fence had little shelter. The horse stood near open ground, unsure where to go. Anna ran toward the trees where an old stone shed stood half hidden by vines. She had noticed it before but never used it. She cleared branches from the entrance and waved her arms gently, not in panic, but with purpose. The horse saw her movement. Thunder rolled across the sky. The ground shook slightly. The horse hesitated, then ran toward the trees. Rain fell hard. Anna stood near the shed, soaked and shaking, but she did not move away. The horse rushed inside just as the storm broke fully. Water poured from the sky. Wind screamed through branches. Inside the shed, the horse stood still, breathing hard. Anna stayed at the entrance, giving space. They shared the shelter without touching. For the first time, they faced danger together. When the storm ended, the land smelled fresh and clean. The horse stepped out first, strong and calm. It did not run. It stayed. From that day, the bond became unbreakable. News of the storm spread through the village. People spoke about how the horse stayed away from homes. How it caused no damage. How the girl helped guide it to safety. The important man called a meeting near the field. Anna stood among the villagers, not hiding now. Her clothes were still simple, but her posture was strong. The man spoke clearly. The horse no longer threatens us. It has a place. And the girl has shown responsibility. He turned toward Anna. You have done what grown people failed to do. The tall thin man looked away. The bearded man stayed silent. The important man continued. The land beyond the fence will be protected. No one will harm the horse. A wave of relief moved through the crowd. Anna felt her chest loosen for the first time in a long while. Life changed slowly after that. Anna was offered a small room near a family house. She accepted, though she still visited her old shelter often. It reminded her of where she started. Children followed her sometimes, asking questions about the horse. She answered patiently. She taught them respect, not control. The horse became a symbol, not of fear but of freedom. People stopped calling it a problem. They called it the plain guardian. One evening, Anna stood on the hill again. The horse stood below, strong and calm, watching the sunset. The sky burned with soft orange light. Anna thought about the past, about loneliness, about hunger, about being unseen. She realized something important. She had not only saved the horse, she had saved herself. By standing up for another life, she had found her own place in the world. The wind moved through the grass. The horse lifted its head. Anna smiled softly. The village rested peacefully behind her, and the land ahead stayed wide and free.